I've worked with women leaders that have been like really, really manly, and they are missing out the whole point of the feminine power.
It takes a lot of effort and work to learn how to use that power, because
it's not
power,
promoted,
it's
man.
there.
And because there's also so many people to do it, you have less of a capacity to choose for yourself. This is like just theoretical, right?
No, it's not. Every time that I do a freelance, they didn't transfer the funds to me, even though I really needed the money. They transferred the funds to clear the oceans.
Right. Hey, mate.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Kolobar Podcast. Hope you're all doing fine and dandy. How are you doing, man?
Perfect, honestly. It's
Yeah.
been a really, really good start of the day. It's not even the end of the week, and I'm feeling full of energy, which is something weird to me, especially with the amount of work that we're currently doing.
Yeah.
It's nice. What about you?
Me too. I heard that you have some really nice upcoming ideas that are gonna basically start being active after some time. I'm sure you don't probably need to discuss it now, I guess, but congratulations.
No, I mean,
on
I
this.
have no really issue with discussing it, but I guess we, as everybody knows, if we set a goal, we're doing something, we're acting on that goal. And I have been working for quite a while on creating an academy on a physical place.
For cybersecurity.
For programming, and now a great opportunity has been created by Bullhack, by another company which is called Restart, led by an amazing person called Ilyana. Her name is Ilyana. She is really enthusiastic young entrepreneur, and she's a great educator, teacher, especially to young people, kids. So her approach is amazing. I was really fascinated by it because it takes really a huge amount of creativity to be able to translate really technical information to kids. It's impossible to most people, but she does it with ease. She makes it look easy. So I was really impressed. We are going to, it's not yet a fact, but it's going to be a fact really soon. We're going to create a partnership. We're going to start educating kids from the age of 4 till 18 in 3 different age groups. And and apart from that, we're also going to be providing absolutely free of charge mentoring in universities. So, and that's all thanks to the Cyber Club, because they made the network. So the Cyber Club is a society in Bulgaria organized by people who are great individuals in all spheres.
I've been to their conferences. I can confirm that.
And it's not just cybersecurity. The society is full with IT experts of all fields.
Yeah, I've seen also finance, robotics,
business, finance,
everything.
banking, robotics, cybersecurity, everything. Like everything that there is some IT in it.
The guys there are always open for discussions. The networking is really good. Everything, like they're always available to provide answers, even to people like me, because I'm working like in sales. Even if it's in those industries, I don't have the technical knowledge so much as them. So I've seen that they are always open to. It's probably for the millionth time for them, but they're always open to giving that information to individuals like me and answering some questions.
That's the core idea of the club. Like their core idea is to make information available to everyone, is to create a platform for everybody from all fields to collaborate, to create businesses, to create ideas, to create startups, and there is no fee for joining the club. There is the only fee is being
your time.
Which is great. We always pay the time fee, but at the same time, the only fee, in my personal overview of what I have currently seen so far, is that just be open-minded, be open to opportunities, and be helpful, be useful. And that's a really great initiative. And props to Anton, who will be our guest sometime in the future. I have already invited him. We have already invited him, by the way, in the past conference. Yeah. And so the Cyber Club has invited us. It introduced each other to us. It introduced Ilana to me and myself to her. So we have talked a little bit. I understood how she works. I was really impressed, and I explained to her what my goals are, and we're basically looking in the same direction. She has the same goals such as myself, and I'm really excited to start the journey. So let's see what happens.
Amazing. Good one.
Yeah.
Good luck to you and to her. By the way, you don't even need luck. I'm sure it's going to go great.
Yeah. Both of us are hardworking, so.
Yeah. All that matters, at least for you, and if she's the same, that's amazing. You know, what matters is the goal, the mentality that you're doing it with, and I know it's coming from an honorable place. Let's call it like that. So that's what's important, because that always allows you to make the right decisions and to work hard for them.
But also, there are some really great individuals from the Cyber Club, and for example, we can, thanks to that, we can get a lot of good examples of what we can innovate in the way of teaching. So we have some amazing ideas, which I'm not gonna yet share, but I'll share for sure once they are set up and configured to start, because I mean, this will change how kids are taught on a large scale in many other organizations. I'm pretty sure it's amazing. I'm so fucking excited, seriously.
I can see that. And by the way, this is not a paid advertisement, if anybody's wondering.
No.
We just believe in ideas like this, and we think it's incredibly important for not just kids, for all sorts of people to be informed on this topic, in this area of work, or at the very least to have enough knowledge to protect themselves in some cases, right? So
awareness.
Awareness, exactly. What they're doing there. So that's why we are sharing this info.
I don't even need marketing. We are well known in our industry, and we are already well known in universities, in schools, and generally we don't really need to create marketing. So I'm just sharing, and also I'm going to be sharing our methods of teaching and how we approach the situation, how we approach teaching to small children, because it's really innovative. So, and I hope that a lot of people will find value, and they will also integrate it in their way of teaching. So. Yeah, sharing is caring, and I believe that. So, but yeah,
cool. Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually the topic of this podcast. We wanted, and that's why we're a little bit more formally dressed. Actually, to be fully open here, we first were fully costumed. We were with costumes here because we wanted to be like a bit over the top and make it funny. So that it's relatable to the topic, because we're going to be talking about our business experience, let's say, right? But then we decided that maybe that's going to be too much if somebody takes it out of context. It makes a review of me. I'm going to be like just like some kind of a joker. So we are so. But on some other podcasts, we are going to go over the top in the way that we dress, and it will be fully with the topic.
Accurate to the topic.
Yeah, accurate to the topic and connect to the topic. So yeah, we wanted to go through on, I guess, my experience and your experience. Maybe I guess I can. Initially, me and you, we were working in some pretty bad jobs, like pretty crappy jobs in factories, right?
Really hard jobs in terms of endurance, in terms of mental endurance, not physical endurance. To us, at the time, there was nothing physical that could scare us. Honestly, we were over prepared, but. The mental aspect was
we're talking, by the way, about like 20, 21 years old, something like that.
Yeah, between 19 and 21 years old. And then I actually continued working such jobs until I graduated university, because I didn't really, I have applied to other places, and the only way for me to practice my what I know is to do freelance, which I did, but I will get to that. Do you want me to start, or I already? So yeah, basically we worked at warehouses worked the primary job was moving boxes. Okay, it wasn't really intellectual.
Boxes with cigarettes, with car parts, with all sorts of things, you know. That
Yeah, heavy lifting and really long 12-hour
organizing
shifts.
the boxes as well.
And a lot of you work that job, and you can really understand the mental toll it makes on yourself. So to me it was really hard. It was really difficult to
Not, I wouldn't say hard, but demotivating. That's what you mean.
That
probably.
was hard for
Yeah.
me, like
Yeah.
being really that demotivational to me.
Yeah.
And there is no prospect to learn anything, there is no prospect to progress in any way. And the only
There is, but it's like super tiny, super insignificant, super small. Yeah,
insignificant.
yeah.
And,
Because they like initially they say it to you and me, like they said you can do this and this and
you
that.
have a
because-
career.
Yeah, you have a career here to be a warehouse worker, manager, sort of type of.
Yeah, that's
team
the
leader.
highest you can be. at a
Yeah,
warehouse.
and for like a really small salary, and you're like
And after a couple years,
constantly, you're constantly responsible there, and you're dealing with. This is the type of work that I hope in the future.
it would be.
I'm not
disseminated.
sure. I believe that might not be the priority right now, from what I'm seeing, sadly. But I hope that it can become a priority for jobs like this to be fully automated.
It's
To
already,
be,
yeah.
in some places, but in a lot of countries, actually. I don't want to go into it, but our phones are made from factories with like
Slave work.
like teenage
Slave work.
slave work. So I hope that this is the type of work that gets automated, and not the
In the end of the day, money
areas.
talks. Money
Yeah.
talks. If you're a business owner, it's all it matters. A salesperson comes to you and he says, "All right, listen, man, you have a warehouse. You're producing. What's your revenue? 2 million. Okay. How much are you paying for all the costs? Let's say 1.4, and the rest is your profit, right? So
Yeah. How much is like the medical and everything?
everything,
Yeah.
like and imagine this is my product. Like, you're the salesman. I'm really not a salesman. I know a little bit, but around you anyway. But he comes and he offers you, I'll save you 1.2 million. Would you refuse? You're going to invest 3 million, but your return on investment is going to be in really short amount of time.
You have like just some maintenance of parts. We are automating
And the robots are
everything
working
here.
24/7.
Yeah, and that's like the big thing, and they don't stop, and it's programmed. You can change the program without any questions from the other side. Like, so you can change the process without needing to train the people.
Yeah.
Like you can just code it.
And of course, this has to be a slow process. But let's not really dive that deep, because if it happens overnight and a lot of people are going to lose their job, it's going to be a crisis. And I'm also working in crisis management, so I know how bad it would be for the political situation. And from a human point of view, people are going to starve, families are going to suffer, and it's going to be really difficult. So this needs to be really well thought of and really well envisioned, and there should be a program followed to diminish that result.
If people talks, not money talks, as you said.
Yeah,
So,
I think
quote
that,
unquote.
yeah.
So it
I think
really
both
matters.
talk, and I think that people should really voice their frustration and their how they feel about everything. But of course, they cannot really stop progress. However, we worked on these jobs and we understand how insignificant we felt at the time. And I felt like I worked at Euro 7 where we both worked.
Yeah, we were both there.
And I've worked for about 7 months there. It's a small period of time, but to me it was an eternity. It was an eternity. And I felt so depressed, and I felt so low in my life because there was literally nothing happening, and my salary was like 350 euros, from which they took every month, for example, 50 euros from the salary because of a mistake somewhere made. And Yeah, I mean, it's really
And the factory is like outside of the city. It's mostly night shifts. They take us
12-hour
with the bus,
shifts,
yeah, like
20
with the bus
minutes
to go
break.
somewhere. It's and you know the people there to kind of cope, and I felt like really sad about it to cope with the situation. They were discussing the dumbest topics possible. Imagine like me and you
Yeah.
right now talking on the podcast about Vibrator or
Nothing
Big Brother,
productive.
something like this.
I mean, it
It's
would be
so-
bearable if people talked about, let's say, some intellectual topic, which is kind of ironic, really. But at the same time, it would at least balance things out a little bit. You know, you would feel that at least you can learn something.
I think that I have to also say, by the way, from I think that the term that we use sometimes, intellectual topic, is really fucking stupid to me.
Why?
Like, I would say ideas. I
Is
think
it ideas are
Yes,
intellectual?
yes, but it just I don't know. It sounds it's as if you know, me and you have discussed really dumb areas of life,
Yeah.
and we have gotten to like some really interesting conclusions.
Exactly, but
So
that's an
initially it
intellectual
doesn't seem
approach.
like okay, fair enough. So yeah,
Because you can extract really valuable lessons from the dumbest shit and the
Okay.
dumbest topics. But if your approach is correct to how you disseminate the subject and the topic, you can extract value from everything. So a positive conclusion for everybody to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and it was really tough on my mental. So I continued working even when I was I'm skipping a huge part. So I lived in after the Legion. I lost my purpose. That led me to an even darker route within myself, because I'm a really goal-oriented person, and without a goal, I feel empty, useless, pointless. Really, I felt like I'm just existing, and I don't like that feeling. So I tried to calm myself, and I told myself, okay, it's a matter of time to find something that you're going to do to have a new purpose in life. You just have to wait, and while waiting, at least do something with your life. I tried working in Bulgaria. Nobody would give me any opportunity to work, even just helping with printing documents. There were job opportunities for somebody to get a document, print it on a printer, get it to somebody in the office. That was the job, and it was really low paid, but it was better than work warehouse. And I tried applying to that, and they told me that I'm not qualified. Yeah, true. And yeah.
No,
And
like that's how it goes. This is like usually the HR way of going through things.
yeah, and I tried. I found at the end I just accepted the warehouse job, and funny enough, I met Mirella at the warehouse.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, at the time,
One
like,
of our friends.
yeah, she is like a really close person to me, and she is a partner in Buchak. And we, by pure accident, we found each other in a warehouse. And her story at the time was like she was fighting with her dad because he wanted her to do something and she didn't want to do it. And he said, all right, I'm cutting you off. And she had no money. So she had to find something quickly so that she can pay her university and her living expenses in Sofia.
Is she okay with you like discussing this?
Yeah, man,
Sorry.
of course. Yeah, it's
My dad,
no
this,
worries.
my dad. Sorry, dad. Of Mirella.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was a really strong man and a really hard-headed person. He is no longer living, but yeah, I remember him as a really, really hard-headed and strong person. And if he wants something, he is going to try to achieve it with anybody. So yeah, he has cut her off at the time, and she had to deal with it, you know. And she took the first job opportunity, and it paid 50 euros per week. No, yeah, 50 euros per week, and it paid on a weekly basis. So they pay you each week, because I guess people don't really stay around for long. And the job was like at something like it's a subcontractor for HM, for example, and they bring you clothes, and you had to put a magnet. A magnet, for example, when you go to the store and you try to steal something, that magnet is going to set the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm talking about, like a security system, small piece of plastic. And that was the job. It sounds easy, but you're standing up 12, not 12, but let's say approximately 10 hours and a half, and with 15 minutes break. And it was really, really dumb job. Like, you just every day, okay, that's what you do, and people around you have like a negative IQ. Literally, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. There was a person who asked me who is Vasilevsky. He didn't know who that person was. So that in Bulgaria.
Okay.
And by the way, the same day I left, I took the lunch break. I just took my shit, and I'm like, that was like the fourth day. I didn't stay for long. That was the fourth day at that warehouse. The moment that person told me this question, I was like, no. This is not my place. I cannot stay here. I have to find something.
Was that like, what was that singer?
Singer?
Yeah, he was saying that that Levski and Botev are like Turkish 6th generation citizens, something like this. I forgot.
Tito.
Toto. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. Yes, it was. No, I didn't mean to. Sorry. Yeah. Was that him?
So he said that Botev and Levski are 6th generation Turks.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like, Toto, man, you should go back to school, bro. I mean, I guess you're a good singer, but you're lacking some historical lessons here.
Yeah,
and pretty important.
But is this going to be like right now?
I feel like
I feel like we should actually cut this from the podcast, because it would seem like we are using his name for the podcast, because he also has like a podcast, I think, or something.
I mean, if you feel that we are bad mouthing you, then I'm not sorry. You're being dumb. You're simply saying stupid stuff. And by the way, if I say something that dumb, please tell me. Tell me, because I would feel really uncomfortable to stay and think that I'm being correct and being that dumb at the same time. So let's continue with the story. So after that, I took my shit, and we both left on the fourth day, I think, the third or the fourth. And to this day, Mirella saved the jacket that we did wear in that warehouse, just to remind herself what she has to avoid becoming. Yeah.
No, like that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And we always laugh at it.
She should have it on the wall.
She did in her when she was in university. She had it on the wall. Yes. Yeah. So she would study really hard, and that was a really, really good lesson in life. So at the time, I felt like there is no way for me to thrive in Bulgaria. There is no way. So I left, and I felt like Bulgaria kicked me out. And because I had literally no opportunities apart from that, and I felt like I can do more in life, and I left Bulgaria, and I went to my sister, which lived and still lives in Denmark. She helped me a lot to settle, and I had 2,000 euros from the Legion in my bank account, and I tried to find a job, and I had that money for 1 month. I had 1 month to find a job, if I remember correctly. It was pretty long ago, but I feel like I remember that it was approximately 1 month. And at the last week, I was left with just enough money to buy myself a ticket to go back to Bulgaria. And I was like, I cannot fail. I cannot fail. And I kept repeating this. I cannot fail. I have to find a job. I have to find it. And I was applying to so many places. It was insane. But the problem is I was living in Hostebro, which is a small village. So you're trying to
describe that you did not have enough money.
Yeah,
at that point, and eventually, if you didn't find a job, you could not stay there and live.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the last day, if I stay one more day, I wouldn't even have enough money to go back. And of course, I can ask my sister, but that wasn't the point. To me, it was life or death situation, because if I go back to Bulgaria, I'll probably kill myself. That was to me at the time. And I woke up at 5 a.m. And I remember I printed a batch of CV, my CV, and in a batch. Mm-hmm. I put it in a bag. I got on my bike because that was my transport. And I rode like 50 kilometers, 45, approximately 50 kilometers in one direction. And on every warehouse, on every farm, on every shop, on everywhere in one direction, I just left CVs until I had no more CVs to leave. And then I went back. And on the next day, I got a job. And it was the most terrible job that I have worked at. No, seriously, I'm really not proud of it. But to me, it was about survival. It was really about life and death to me in my own mind. And the job was at a farm. And it was a mink farm. And my job was to skin dead animals, basically. It was a really terrible job. I almost cut my finger off, by the way, on one of the machines.
Sounds pleasant.
Yeah.
Did you get like free meat or stuff like this? Sorry for the
free meat.
Joke.
I mean, no, not really, because those dead animals, I don't really know how they dispose them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was terrible. Like I'm not gonna go into details because probably most of the people don't really want to understand the process. But the process is so. I think that they.
By the way, before people hate me, I'm like a vegetarian. Okay, like I'm just joking around.
He doesn't even eat meat.
Yeah. I eat from like really rarely, okay. But I'm not like disrespecting animals. I'm just joking around. And I have like ferrets and stuff like this at home.
And by the way, I love them. They're so cute, and it killed me. I love animals, man. They truly changed my life because they provide you with unconditional love, and they're pure because the only thing that they care about is living. They don't care about taxes. They don't care about home. They care about people and other animals, relationships. They care about relationships and food. This is it. And that's a really, really pure form of existing to me. So, yeah, it was really difficult for me. I worked at it for one season, a month and a half, two approximately, but it had to provide me it gave me time. And funny enough, just about the end of the season, I got an offer at one of the places which my sister also worked there in the office, but I have also applied there with the CV, with everything. And when I applied, they didn't have any room for any more workers, but for that specific period, they had a lot of work, so they needed temporary workers, and they invited approximately 20 people, 10 or 20, between 10 and 20 people. I don't remember the exact number of people, but all of us were temporary. Man, I was surprised at the perfect conditions these workers were given.
Yeah.
It was a warehouse, by the way, and it was a warehouse for furniture. The company is called Actona in Denmark. It's quite famous there. It's a small family business, but at the same time, it was turning out huge profits. And
something similar to IKEA. Not as big, but I mean, like
Similar,
the
yeah.
business case is like IKEA's.
IKEA's sometimes sell things from McDonald's, let's say.
Okay.
It could. I'm not really sure. I think.
Okay.
So the job was like basically unloading containers full of furniture. It was heavy lifting. It was difficult job, and I was doing every day about 12 to 13 containers unloading. One container is approximately 25 meters and 2 meter high. So it was full with a lot of furniture, and I didn't feel once that I'm overworking myself. Let me just explain you the conditions. You go in at the time it was 6 in the morning, because the work was a lot, and at 8 a.m. you have a breakfast, and you go into a canteen within the warehouse, and you have multiple types of breads. You have milk, multiple types of milk actually. One with I don't remember the specifics in English, but with fructose and stuff like fructose, but what lactose.
Fructose is for the fruits.
Yeah. Lactose without and with.
Okay.
Basically. And you had multiple types of breakfasts that you can mix. You have yogurt, you have different types of cheese, meat, and I mean, you have a lot of choice, and you eat as much as you want. You have 30 minutes, okay, 30 minutes breakfast. When that's over, you return to your post and you continue working. Then at 12, you go to a restaurant, because you imagine the warehouse having an angle, a small square for offices, and between the offices and the actual warehouse there is a restaurant, and it's a real restaurant with cooks and everything. You have like 2 huge tables full of salads. Like you every day you have a choice between 10 salads, many fruit, many cheese, options of cheese, meat, couple of big pots with different foods in it. Like they have cooked different types of food, and I mean, and then you have also plates with, for example, corn and different things that you can add to your dish. You eat as much as you want. You have like about an hour. Then you return to your post rejuvenated, rested. You want to work even harder, because you feel so energetic and well fed and rested. You work. Then at 3:15 you have a coffee break, 15-minute coffee break. And after that, you return to your post even more energetic. You're even more ready to work.
What was the average age of the people that you were working with there?
Average, I would say 37 point something.
Okay, so about 40.
Yeah, about 40.
37.2. Okay. The fuck?
I mean,
what do you mean? Okay, fair enough. So around 40.
I think that's the average.
Yeah, and was it predominantly men or women?
There were both. There were women and men, but you have to take in mind that Danish people are like
really equality based.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. I would say even a little bit more than that. I think that women have more power than men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, women are more authoritative in Denmark. They are usually the what we call in Bulgaria the man in the family. That's the situation.
Since you've lived there, what would Danish people think of you from what you're saying right now? Would they agree, or would they say, this is like...
I think that they will agree.
They would agree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they see it as something bad or something negative. I think that...
it's a matriarchy.
Yeah, to a huge extent, in my opinion, and it's also in the political
The Danish leaders are mostly women as well.
not
I don't
mostly.
know
I
that.
mean, there's always equality in
Okay.
and equity as well. But I'm saying that Danish women are not just given some extra powers because they're women. They are fighters. They have really strong characters, and they're really bossy. They're really
Are
bossy.
they fighters in a feminine way or in a masculine way, from what you've seen?
I would say
And
I've seen both.
I-
I've seen both.
For the
It
people that
depends
get
on
offended
character.
from what I'm saying, then they don't understand what I'm saying.
No,
Okay,
I mean,
'cause there's,
please ask
like,
questions
yeah.
because you have never been in Denmark, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
and I'm asking them
And,
because the audience might be wondering, right?
Yeah.
And I've worked with women leaders that have been like really, really manly, and they are missing out the whole point
Mm.
of the feminine power. Because I've also worked with women that are not even my quote unquote manager or anything else, or president, let's say, of the company, that know how to utilize their feminine nature,
Mhm.
not in a seductive way, is what I'm saying. There's a small tip of that, but
Yeah, I mean,
there's feminine
Feminine
power
er-
and there's
energy.
masculine power. Yeah, and I've worked with women that know exactly how to use
yeah.
that feminine
If a
intellect.
woman is trying to be more like man, she gives up her
She
power.
gives up her power. Exactly, she becomes
Something
the
that she's
only
not.
thing that allows her to do it is basically her position, and the people on the other side see it, right? And they know that if it was the other way around, they wouldn't listen to her. Whereas if you have a woman leader that is leading in a really feminine, intellectual way, with in sync with her own
Nature.
yeah, and power, then people actually respect that, and they are fond of following her. Same as a man, if I'm a sales
But
manager, if
also-
I behave in a really emotional way, and I'm like really busting doors, I'm crying when there's a problem or something like this is more I mean, I
understand.
sound a bit sexist
No,
here, but I'm not. Okay.
I'm gonna fix that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix that. I feel that, from what I understand, is when a woman is trying to force herself to be out of her nature. For example,
Yeah.
some women, it's part of their character for real. Like, it's just they have learned from really young age
But that's a
that
small
this is how.
percentage, yeah.
Yeah, but other women, they're trying to force herself into that mindset, and
Yeah.
it's not really. It's never been until now that it's never been part of her nature or character, and it's really, you can see it.
Yeah, and I'm focusing on this because we said this in the last podcast, but I'm gonna say it again. In Bulgaria, there's a really good equality in the IT industry between women and men, and I'm actually just trying to give, from experience, you don't have to listen to me, a good advice to women. When you are, especially, like, let's say most of your directors would be men, right? And that's fine. And if you have a female manager or a director that gets promoted or is striving for that, she would try to mimic those men because they are the leaders at the
because
current
that
company.
works.
And what she's doing is exactly what we're describing. She's doing herself a bad favor. Whereas if she
She can
learns how
achieve
to lead
that
as a
in a
woman,
feminine
specifically, she would have even much more power. I've worked with
Power for women.
yeah, females that have been the top sales performers in specific teams, and they were literally magicians. With the most adequate and technical way, without putting too much work. They would do much more than the hardest working guy in the room, and it's all about that more kind of like intellectual approach,
But it
with a
sounds-
smile, with a more gentle touch. That's
It
the
sounds
real.
it takes a lot of effort and work to learn how to use that power, because that's
Because it's
a
not
power,
promoted,
it's
man.
there.
Because you cannot. Usually people don't talk about it.
I guess then it's in our favor not to talk about it.
Maybe, I don't know, but
I'm joking, of course.
yeah. But most of the channels that you would see that are talking about business women or whatever, it's all about drive, kill this, kill that, women power, women this, women, yeah. But it's not women power. It's women power, right? It's more.
Mm.
I might seem funny right now,
No,
but
it's
that's it.
I
That's
see it the
exactly
same.
what it is. And
But when compared to Denmark, because that it's how we
Yeah. Yeah.
started that. So women there are mostly, it's in their nature. Like they are being taught, and you can say doctrinated, but I guess the doctrination is it brings negative negativity in the word. I
well,
guess
yeah,
there is some
because
negativity
instead
in
of the word, it means that you are placing them and teaching them how to behave, regardless of how they feel.
they do that from
Okay.
really young age.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
And I don't know if this is I don't think this is something bad, because they're not really
But how do you
teaching
know
them-
that?
because they're not teaching them something bad. They're teaching them how to be leaders, how to be basically I don't think that they're giving up their feminine power, but at the same time they're teaching them leadership qualities. And you also can get a lot of examples of women who have not that feminine characteristics, but there's those people everywhere. So you also have those, which is fine, you know. But there's a lot of women in Denmark who are really feminine, and at the same time they have a lot of leadership qualities because they have been taught that from really young age. And the way they teach kids out there is really fascinating. They give them a lot of playtime, and they have a lot of they have the country itself and all the private institutions that are responsible for that invest a lot of money to creating sports bases for kids to play, just playgrounds, but really interesting playgrounds. It's as if you're a boy, you would think you're a soldier. If you're a
Nice.
girl,
Okay.
I don't know how you would feel, but you would feel really
Like a princess.
I don't think no. I don't think that she would feel like a princess. It's like they're playing rough, because the playgrounds are like really. It can be physical, like not physical between the kids, but more like climbing, jumping, ropes, and it's like
Okay,
a
fair
training
enough.
camp, but for kids, and it looks awesome, man. If we had that.
Well, we
would
have
be-
it in. Come on, like we have it in some parks. Like we have some
yeah,
really
one
nice
place
parks.
in Sofia, and it's not even that, man. I'm talking about massively across the country to have multiple places, and it's not an enclosed environment. It's out there in the park, and if you have a kid, go and play. And
there's
it's
other
amazing.
kids, so that's kind of like welcoming other
It's
kids
really
to go because they
social
see that they are
environment.
doing it.
And
Yeah.
that's something that is really, really weird to me, by the way, because I'm going to continue my
Mhm. Story.
my story.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to continue my story just to add that it's really weird to me that all the kids in Denmark, they grow up in such a good, positive, and social environment, but at the same time, there is some coldness in the people. They're really welcoming. And by the way, let me emphasize, not emphasize, but clear it. When you're walking on the street and you meet a stranger, he would look at you in the eyes and he would smile. And a lot of the times it's forced. It's okay, but it's a smile, and you smile back, and it's a positive feeling. It's a good feeling, even if it is forced. It's nice, but interpersonal relationships between people feel cold, and I don't know.
By cold, I believe what you're trying to describe is they are not so. They don't open up so easily.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas me and you,
They're
like, we're
really
literally
emotional
sharing
people.
everything on
They,
camera.
they are really emotional people. Don't get me wrong. They're really emotional people, but they're really hard to open up, and it's like really hard to even give trust. I don't know. They might trust you, but it's like you wouldn't know. I don't know. It's not. If I trust you, see, I trust you. But if he trusts me, I have to guess. So. It's just an impression. I'm not saying this is the truth. It's my own personal experience.
Yeah, this is your experience.
Yeah. So I worked at Tectona for
Soon enough, I'm gonna be able to see you even for that. for your memories.
Yeah. uh, I worked at Actona for 1.7 years, and I was fired because there was a some financial law of not enough income, basically, and they decided to fire some people.
You were a part of the correction.
Yeah.
It's it like that.
Yeah. So, but I forgot to mention some really important part. I was a temporary worker.
Okay.
And when I saw the environment and the conditions, I was like, I'm going to break my bones. I'm going to break my back. I'm not gonna even want to leave the fucking warehouse. I'm gonna work until I didn't even took breaks. I continued working.
Mm-hmm.
And
so that they could give you a full contract.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
and they did. From all the temporary workers, me and another young guy, Rasmus,
Mm-hmm.
not Rasmus.
Rasmus sounds a bit right. In the shadows.
I don't remember his name. I'm really sorry, man.
Was there a song like this?
I'm really sorry. I don't remember his name,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I'm not really good with names anyway. So, yeah, it is what it is. That young guy, he was really, really cool young kid, and I learned a lot from him. Firstly, he was really well educated. And speaking of which, education in Denmark is something that can be taken as an example anywhere in the world. Because, for example, if you want to become a warehouse employee,
Mm-hmm.
you would go to a college for warehouse employees. And no, listen. So
How long is that college?
I don't know, a year probably, something like that.
Okay, me and you have worked in factories, in warehouses.
Yes, listen, you're not correct, and I'll tell you why. I'm not saying we are different. I'm not saying that we are really good learners, which we are, but on a massive scale, across the whole country, not everybody can learn at the same pace. But if you want to have a good standard for work ethic,
Quality assurance.
quality of work, of how to even move boxes, but you would use machinery. You would use some machines that require certificate to operate,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the stuff that you're taught. And at that specific warehouse, I worked with like
So
5
are
or
we
6
talking-
different machines.
So are we talking then, because I have, from the factories that I've worked in, I have certificates for working with machines and licenses
Mm-hmm.
to drive certain like huge operational machines.
Yeah, up to 40 tons I have.
Yeah, like the biggest ones that you can imagine. In Bulgarian, it's a Tristan. I don't know what it is in English, if it's the same or not.
There are
but-
multiple names.
Yeah, but overall, are you talking about a college degree from what you're describing, or are you talking about the certificate?
In Denmark, it's a college.
It's a college.
It's it's a professional. It's a college with a professional degree, because, for example,
Yeah.
and that's for everything.
Like a professional
So-
gymnasium.
Yes. So when you finish high school, then you go to a profession. You want to specialize, and there is professional school for every profession, everything. If you want to go and make things out of glass, you go to a school that teaches you that, and you go out a professional.
Okay, let me ask you this. At first glance, there is a lot of people that, I'm going to be the other guy. There's a lot of people that would agree. They would like it. Cool idea. Everything's nice. You get more knowledge, and I am me. Let's say as a business owner, or you as a consumer of a product, you're sure that the warehouse is providing you with good products, with quality products, and
Yeah.
that they're working in a safe way. No.
No,
and
you
all
don't.
of that.
No, it's not that.
But overall,
It's not that. The client doesn't care. The
Fair-
business owner cares.
Yeah,
Because
but-
then the workers break stuff because they are incapable of working.
Yes, now what I mean. Yes, now what I mean is, first of all, do you think that investing such an amount of time and effort and energy for a person into a warehouse, even into sales or anything else, is good at that age,
Yes.
especially for a warehouse.
Yes.
Do you think that if you have an additional, so here in Bulgaria we don't have a college like this.
We don't have
We don't
anything.
have. Yes, we don't
Even
have.
our universities have that.
Yeah, we have like licenses for certain stuff, but overall, people go and work in a specific job. They work in a warehouse, factory, anything else. And once they pass, like, let's say the second, third year mark, they feel invested and they usually sit there. Now, how invested would a 20, 25-year-old feel if he has gone through high school, through college, then through 1 or 2 years additional college for a warehouse, and then he's a warehouse worker and maybe eventually a manager of the warehouse?
Yeah.
How, like, he feels invested, right?
Yeah.
Does
And
this
really
mean-
well paid
Okay,
at
so-
the same time.
Okay, so why am I saying this? Predominantly in the world, in many industries, like everything is connected to warehouses, everything is connected to logistics,
Yeah.
everything is connected to factories. So you have an insane percentage of the economy that has a work base there. Okay, so you have a huge percentage of people that are invested into this workflow,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Due to that.
a huge
Well, there, let's say in Denmark, like a big percentage are working in warehouses, like in any other country, right?
Like in any other
And they are more
country, yeah.
invested. So is this good for them that they feel more invested and that they have less freedom to choose otherwise?
They don't have a less freedom.
It's not about, well,
They
look,
don't
if
have-
you're,
The
this is
education
like a
is
really
free.
good,
No, listen, you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, you earn a lot of money. As a warehouse employee, you can buy a house, and you won't worry about anything. You save money, and you can actually have.
how much is that?
Well, I was working and I was low paid because
Mhm.
it's just that was my personal situation.
that's
I
fine,
was
yeah.
low paid, but I was earning 25 euros an hour,
Okay.
which is quite fine.
And when you were,
And I didn't think
for
I
the month,
paid,
how much was that for the month?
a couple of thousand euros.
What is that? A couple
Hmm?
of thousand? Two? What?
I don't remember, man.
Well-
But the thing is, I paid my house. My medicine is free. I can go to the doctor. I can do an operation. I can operate my eyes. I can do liposuction, whatever the word was. Like I can change my face for free.
Okay.
I can do anything
I'm
that's
not sure if you
concerning
can
my
change your
health.
face for free.
You can do it for free.
Plastic
There-
surgery
everything-
for free.
Yeah, everything that's concerning health and plastic surgery and all that. Of course, you can go to somebody and pay him if you want something extra. But there are a lot.
So
of,
is it like low quality plastic
No.
surgery? Like they
No.
do something, they make me
No.
beautiful, but my nose goes here.
no, no. So you pay 40%. You earn a lot, but you pay 40% of your salary to the country.
Okay.
And
Taxes,
the thing
yeah.
is, yeah.
Mm.
But the thing is, it's not the same as if you. I would feel really, really demotivated if I'm paying the same taxes in Bulgaria because you don't see those taxes being invested in the country. Whereas in Denmark, you pay 40%, but the roads are perfect. Everything is perfect. Like everything is working. It's just working, and it's working good. And you feel that everything is working for your benefit, which is weird, you know. And when you go back to Bulgaria from that environment, everything in Bulgaria makes impression. Everything, like there is so many stuff that are wrong, but people just take it as this. The people who come back to Bulgaria understand perfectly well what I'm talking about. It's just that some time passes and things start to normalize, and you start to get used to all the bullshit and everything that's wrong with the country. It's just everybody's okay with it, and I don't know why, but you just get used to the idea that it is just as it is, and you cannot really do anything about it.
So in short, if we take into consideration what you're describing, and I take it that the people that work in those warehouses choose on their own and they freely go through
I didn't finish my thought. I'm really sorry. I wanted to actually provide you with so you get enough benefits and everything. You're secured. You can save up a lot of money. The education is free. Higher education is free. in every university in Denmark. So you can.
That's actually really good.
It's really
Yeah.
good, and it's also paid by those 40%.
Mhm.
So you can save up a lot of money, and you can, let's say, I have enough money to survive for the next 3 years. You can easily do that in a few years, and then go to university, educate yourself, be something else. But you also have an option. You don't really have to do that. You can be, if you want to be a warehouse worker until the end of the days, you can be that, and you'll be fine. You can raise your kids, and you can buy a house as a warehouse employee.
Mhm.
So that's the type of environment I'm talking about, and the type of system. They're light years ahead of us. So
My idea, okay, fair enough. So my idea was that I have the concern that what you're describing is a system where you have so much provided in a specific area. Now that you're describing it, it's a bit different. But I was concerned that you have so much provided in a specific area, and to work in that area, you also have to invest more than in other places. That you would afterwards. No, this is psychology, man. That you would afterwards have less freedom in your
I've already paid
head.
so much time. I probably should just be that.
Yes, and because there's also so many people to do it, you have less of a capacity to choose for yourself, and that might be. You never know with the mentality of people. Okay, so that's why I'm saying it. Overall, I might be wrong from what you're describing, but I wanted to place that out because I've learned, and you've learned. It's not always flowers and pink,
But you are right to an extent, and I'll tell you why I think that is you're right to an extent, because just because that system is working there, it takes a very specific mentality on a nationwide scale to work just as perfect as it works. All right, they do have problems. They know every country has problems. They're not perfect. They also have corruption, but it's not on a great scale, such as it is here or anywhere else in the world, for a matter. And but they do have corruption.
Every country has corruption.
Yeah, if there are rich people, there is corruption because they can afford it.
Look, you cannot have good without bad. It's impossible.
It's impossible. If you try to impose only good, then there is something terribly
That's actually bad.
Terribly wrong happening in somewhere, and you don't even know about it. And it's but if the same system is imposed here, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we can do it because our mentality is totally different, and I don't think that we will agree with that type of mentality. And I know that it may sound like it may sound wrong and people may misunderstand, but I feel that we can achieve the same result through different paths.
Yeah, like I agree with you, and it's because and that's why this came into my mind. Like in short, we Bulgarians are, I don't want you to fuck me. I want me to fuck me. Like I want to fuck myself. If I'm gonna get fucked, I want to fuck myself. This is not gonna happen any other way. So we get demolished from so many places, but we are left kind of with the impression that we can choose how to get demolished. Is it in this area of life? Is it in that area of life?
Always gonna get fucked.
You have
a choice.
Like here,
how to get fucked.
I can choose to get a bit more messed up here, but less there. I can choose to maybe mess up. Maybe I can mess up this guy so that I'm less messed up here. So it's more of a sadly this survival tribal sense of way. And it's in the mentality of people, as you said,
Come on, we're not really going into it. We have a really special guest that I would love to talk about that specific topic with him. So let's save our.
Let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue.
So what happened?
So
you left the job?
No, they fired me.
They fired you. Yeah.
They fired me, and I had some money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time in my life that I had some money. And by the way, during the time that I was in Denmark, I figured out what I want to do, and that was hacking. I didn't know that at the time there was a term called ethical hacking. I just knew that
just unethical.
No,
What were
I
you up
didn't.
to?
I didn't know. I didn't really know. I watched a TV series called Mr. Robot,
Yeah,
and
I know it.
most of the people really watched it, so they know the story of Elliot. What I really was impressed that in 21st century, I realized back there, even though I have been using technology for most of my life, I realized from the show that it's taking such a we've made such progress that technology controls us directly and indirectly. It has such a power over our lives. It's insane. And I felt like a prisoner of my own world. And hacking, from Elliot's point of view, to him it provided him with freedom to not fight back technology, but return control. You know, and I'm not a control freak, but I don't like to feel oppressed, and I don't like to feel.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel oppressed. I don't feel like a victim, and we don't have that mentality. And because we don't have that mentality, I thought this is the way to take control back, to learn how to manipulate technology, so that you wouldn't feel like it has power over you, because you understand how technology works and you know how to manipulate it. So I started studying, self-studying, looking at forums, looking at videos, reading a lot on the topic.
Hacking the neighbor's grandma's Wi-Fi.
No, never. Grandma, you're fine. Your Wi-Fi is your Wi-Fi's password is totally not anything, you know. Anyway, yeah, I must admit that I tried once, but you know, it happens.
For some reason, wherever you live, the people around you, like the houses and apartments around you, start getting less and less connection to the internet, less upload and download speed for some reason. I have no idea why. It's just like some magnetic field or something. I don't know.
I sent a couple of the authenticate packets towards our neighbors wireless once, just because that was the very first thing.
But you're joking right now, right? This is like just a joke what you're saying, right? This is like just theoretical, right?
No, it's not. I know I'm safe.
Okay.
I know I'm safe. I know I'm wrong, and you shouldn't do that, and nobody should do that. But basically, I dosed the Wi-Fi of my neighbor once when I was in Denmark. I'm really sorry, but it happened for like 10 seconds, and I just stopped it because I felt like I'm committing a crime, this is a crime, and I felt like I'm doing something wrong, and I just stopped it. But you know, it felt funny. It felt funny because it's so easy, and it felt really scary.
You're gonna
at the
get
same
extradited
time.
now.
Yeah,
Sorry to say this.
Yeah, I mean, Danish prisons are better than Bulgaria, so I'm not afraid. Anyway, it felt scary, really scary. How easy it is, and I continued studying, and then I found out that you can practice safely any type of attack on your own machine. It's just that you have to learn how to set up the environment, the testing environment. And this is something that we call laboratory, cyber laboratory. Virtual laboratory, actually, because it's virtualized. I learned to do that. And until now, I didn't really had a reason to attack anyone's network or to attack anyone's computer, because everything can be practiced safely in your own environment, and that's great. So I continued studying and I continued learning, and at some point, just life introduced me to different opportunities to help some people. For example, there was a small business owner whose computer got infected with a virus, a Trojan horse, and the scammers basically extracted sensitive information and tried to transfer funds and stuff like that. I helped him. I'm not really going into a lot of details, but I cleared his computer, I cleared his network, I ensured that there are no backdoors left and everything. And he wanted to pay me, but at the time I wasn't licensed, and I felt that it's against that I'm going against the moral ethics of the profession because I'm not licensed and he's paying me for my service. So I thought that it would be a good idea if he pays me, but instead of transferring the funds to me, he would transfer the funds for or an organization such as like Clear the Oceans. That's the only organization that I always told the clients to transfer the funds to. So every time that I do a freelance, they didn't transfer the funds to me, even though I really needed the money. They transferred the funds to Clear the Oceans. So
Nice.
yeah,
How many times has that happened?
6 or 7 times. It's not a lot, but for a person who is still learning, that was an amazing opportunity, man. And it's not like I seeked that opportunity. It's something that just
like
happened.
props to you. Like, look, overall, like, first of all, most people would take the money. Second of all, they would utilize their abilities even in other ways, in different ways. And third, like, you helped a nice charity, and I know that charity. I'm usually always skeptical of charities. I think that one looks nice. I have no idea if it is, but
back then the charity was still
fresh,
still really young. Yeah. But their idea of how to clean the oceans in a practical way really liked me. I really liked the idea, and I wanted to help them, but I didn't have any money. Mm-hmm. So that was my way to show appreciation for what they do. So it's a good cause, Clear the Oceans. The plastics in the ocean is a huge problem. So yeah, I felt that I did something small for the community.
By the way, for anybody that is wondering, since we're talking about oceans, there's certain ways that are simply like there's not enough investors for those ways of cleaning, oil spills, plastic, so on and so forth. But there are ways, and I'm talking about mushrooms. There's specific sorts of oyster mushrooms that literally in a couple of weeks eat out an oil spill. Nothing is left. And out of that oil spill, if it's, let's say, life on the ground, it produces healthy mushrooms that you can eat. So, and I've had like oyster mushrooms at home, and even without like me noticing, I had like mycelium because I wanted to like take care of oyster mushrooms and see how it goes. I was reading a lot, and at one time I forgot about them, and they were like in a plastic box. And I forgot that this mycelium was alive there for, I don't know, like 1 or 2 months. And it ate like 1/3 of the plastic. And then we go and we say that plastics are almost impossible to dissolve, and that it takes like 500 to 1,000 years without us even knowing, because plastic hasn't been so long with us on the planet. So there are ways that have proven to work. Yeah. But for now, as a society, we are not investing inside of those, and we should.
Definitely. And I think that we should make a whole episode about that topic.
Oh, we will. Definitely.
Yeah,
there are really people that I want to invite, but they're like from other countries, incredibly smart, working in this type of environment. Hopefully, we could get them like on a call or something. But yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching. This is the end of part 1. So expect the new one in the upcoming week. Make sure to click the like button, subscribe, and comment for more. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Cheers.